Thank you for warming us up, the Seaside Band. My name is Reverend Lori McMacken. Good morning. And I would like to introduce, first of all, our practitioner who is holding the light today, Penny Miller. A light holding the light. We have many activities going on here at Seaside Centers for Spiritual Living. Today at 12:30 in the Emerson Room, join specialist Jennifer Phillips for a 2-hour workshop of nonviolent communication, language from the heart. Also today, travel ministry at 12:30 in the Quimby Room. Next Sunday, March 22nd, Jill Bondansky. Please join her for a fun afternoon of comedy, theater, and games, and you can sign up in the family room. Saturday is a monthly gathering of Death Cafe. Join them at 10:30 for tea, cake, and conversation. We have some spring classes coming up. Reverend Tammy Mars will be teaching Calling in the One starting on Thursday, March 26th. I've never taken this class, and I think I'm going to join it. Dr. Christian will be teaching a new class called The Untethered Soul, a beautiful book. Join him as a 5-week class starting on April 7th. I know some of you ladies out there like sales, right? So on March 22nd, they're going to have a bookstore clearance sale. Make sure you visit the bookstore next week and this week too. Also, we're going to have a brand new look for the bookstore starting on Easter Sunday. Wednesday night going within. This week is Reverend Debbie McDonald, and she'll be talking about the art of God. It's a great recharge in the middle of the week. And I would like to call up Bill Seaman. Bill, he's going to be talking about new membership.
Good morning, everybody. Hey, so every Sunday we come together, we feel this vibe, right? What a great place Seaside is. How much giving goes on. And for those of you that come and visit, to tap into a little bit of that, we invite you to make the decision to join our community. Because that's how we get to know you. That's how we get to support you. And joining the family and being inside the house is a whole lot warmer than being outside the house. So we have a membership table back there. It costs you nothing to join. You just fill out an application. In fact, we invite you on March 29th to join us for New Member Sunday, which is one of the most wonderful events that Seaside has, where people get up and share how they found Seaside. We also could use some sponsors, and these are members that help new members get integrated into the community. So there's a table back there. After service, please come back and see us. We'd love to talk to you. Thanks.
A few more announcements. On April 3rd, Seaside Sisters are going to get together. You can speak with Callie Holmes about that. We'll have a film screening on environmental issues. Don't forget our Easter Sunday. We have a sunrise at 6 a.m., 9, and 11. James Van Prague will be here on April 17th, and he is a beautiful soul with an open heart. You don't want to miss him. Young Adults Ministry, they are going to be meeting for the first time and having an event, and this will be on March 27th. They're going to be supporting Rebecca Jade, who will be performing at Seaside Suckers in Del Mar. If you are interested, please sign up in the family room. And our family ministry will be having a yearly Easter egg hunt, and we're asking you to join in and provide goodies to stuff the 500 Easter eggs. Stickers, little toys, trinkets, quarters. You can drop off your contribution in the basket on the youth and family table in the family room. And if you would like to join the Easter egg stuffing party, that will be April 2nd from 3 to 6. Now I invite you to stand and to greet your neighbor.
Yeah, put those hands together. Very simple old song. Talks about have the joy, joy, joy down in your heart. I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Down in my heart. Down in my heart. I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Down in my heart to stay. And I'm so happy, so very happy. I've got the love of Spirit in my heart. Oh, I'm so happy, so very happy. I've got the love of Spirit in my heart. I've got the love of Spirit down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. Where? I've got the love of Spirit down in my heart. Down in my heart to stay. Oh, I'm so happy. Oh, I'm so happy. I've got the love of Spirit in my heart. Oh, I'm so happy. Yes, I'm so happy. I've got the love of Spirit in my heart. Spirit in my heart. Oh, I'm so happy. Yes, I'm so happy. I've got the love of Spirit in my heart. I've got the peace that passes understanding down in my heart. Where? Where? I've got the peace that passes understanding down in my heart. Where? I'm happy. Oh, I'm so happy. I've got the love of Spirit in my heart. Oh, I'm so happy. Yes, I'm so happy. I've got the love of Spirit in my heart. I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my... Where? Where? I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Down in my heart to stay.
That's Leslie Green. Boy, singing that like Mardi Gras style. That was fun. Hey, good morning, Seaside. What a joy it is to be with you on this wonderful summer morning. Oh, my goodness. It was warm last night. Those east winds were blowing. It is magnificent. And there was a party here last night. There was a Mardi Gras party. I danced so long, I can't even tell you how sore my legs are. But I can't tell you how late I was out because that may not be appropriate. But I could tell you a lot of people were. And it was a lot of fun. I'll tell you what, anyone involved with putting on the Mardi Gras, would you just stand so we could love you up and say, great job. There's Richard Drutman in the back, and just Jay, fabulous crawfish, and Chantal, my goodness. It was a fun, wild night. The music was crazy. The dance floor was right there. They got it up just before you got in. So, hey, flowers are gorgeous. Rick, oh my goodness, you romantic guy, giving it to your sweetheart for her birthday. Robin, and your first anniversary. She was just sitting with you a second ago, wasn't it? Where'd she go? Well, you can tell her we loved her up. Anyway, welcome to Seaside. It is a place that is about celebrating spirit. Sundays are about the celebration of that divine presence, of that infinite presence, of that love, that life, that spirit that is just really deep down inside. Where? But someone to remind us about that even more is a powerful, masterful practitioner, longtime practitioner of Seaside. One, the people beat a path to her door to get her to pray, and she's going to pray for us all right now. Please join me in welcoming Carolyn Holder.
Hello. Hello. Oh, good. We're all here. All part of the fun we're having here at Seaside. So it is in that spirit of love. Let's turn within to the stillness. And it is from this magical place, this place of wholeness and perfection, this place of creativity and imagination and inspiration, that I know that I am one with that power and presence, that eternal light, that givingness of spirit, that creative energy, that allness, that goodness. For God is the absolute, that first cause, that unconditional love, that is the essence of who and what each of us are. God, the very soul of my being. And as I know that I'm one with that divine presence, as I focus my attention and awareness on that loving spirit, as we each dwell in that recognition of that one power, I know that we become open, clear vessels through which the goodness, the grace, the beauty, the joy, that unconditional love of spirit flows. And know that wonderful activity, that wonderful flow, that wonderful harmony of spirit have brought us all here today for this magnificent celebration, that one life, that is the life of God. And how beautiful it is to be here in community, to share this wonderful journey of 40 days of creativity. As our beloved Reverend Christian shares his an inspirational and powerful message this morning, you came to give, not to get. And so it is from this wonderful place of creativity, this place of transformation, and this wonderful community of love that I am so grateful to be here and to be a part of this wonderful unfoldment. Grateful for each and every person here, for your consciousness, for the love that you share. Grateful for the wonderful teachings of Ernest Holmes and the principles of the science of mind that we take within and live daily. And for the joy of being on this wonderful journey together. I know that we go forth into the service filled with the grace, the gifts, and the gratitude and givingness of spirit. And so it is. Amen.
God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. He good, God, my God is so good to me. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good to
And that's Leslie Green. This is Rebecca Jade's mom. Isn't that sweet? Thank you. Thank you for the accompaniment, Lynn Willard. That's beautiful. Thank you for setting the tone. Hello, everyone. I'm Reverend Tammy Mars. It's my joy to be the one that gets to welcome you here today as we come together to relax, to open, to allow, and to become a totally unrestricted vessel for Spirit to move through. For that which we put our attention on expands, and so I know this morning is a gift to you, and we all walk from here in an even greater place. So I'm excited to see you after the service because I know you'll just be beaming. So good to have you here today. And if you are new to our teaching, thank you for coming and joining us. The science of mind and spirit is a teaching that you can apply to any spiritual path. It's the practical application, as Ernest Holmes says, to the principles that are shared through many of the faiths. It's about learning how to live it, how to be it, and how to allow it to flow through and as you. So there's a table in the back. It's a welcome table. It has a packet there for you. It has some wonderful gifts from us, has an explanation of who and what we are. And I just invite you to pick it up and to please come see us whenever you can. We love having you and be part of our spiritual family. I also wanted to share with you, we have a new class coming up. Well, it's not new. It's a class that we've given before. And the name of the class is Calling in the One. And it's for those individuals that are wanting to expand themselves, to call in the love of their life, an intimate relationship. And I have to say, from the comments from giving this class over the years, is I've had many people say it's the most profound class they've ever taken. The author of it comes from Agape. It's Catherine Woodward Thomas. And she was just channeling pure spirit when she wrote this. It's a really powerful book. In fact, over the years, we've had, I think I've done 3 weddings, people that met in class and got married. Myself, I'm a product of it. I met my husband, and the transformation is what helped me here, and there's been a lot of relationships established. It's also good for couples because you start looking at what you want and where you're at, and you can discuss it together. So I just invite you to come out. It starts a week from Thursday. And it's at 6 to 8, and it's here in the sanctuary. So come join us. There's a sign up in the back. There's books in the bookstore. You do need to start the week before, so this coming Thursday, because it's 49 days, and you read a little bit every day and do some exercises. So come see us for that. And then I want to share with you, Reverend Christian speaking today, as you heard from our practitioner, Carolyn Holder. The name of the talk is You Came to Give, Not Get. So I'm going to share with you a reading that comes from Eric Butterworth's book, Spiritual Economics. So I invite you to take these words within. Giving is basically an attitude with which you touch things. Takers are people who believe that their lives will always be the total of what they get from the world. The givers are convinced that life is a giving process. Thus, their subtle motivation in all their ways is to give themselves away. They give themselves away in love, in service. They are always secure, for they know where the good comes from. It flows from within. If you give, really work in a giving consciousness, you must receive. There's no way that you cannot. As the Bible said, God so loved the world that he gave. Life is not something to get, but rather something to express. If you are at this point that where you still ask the question, what's in it for me, then you are being grossly underpaid. Even if your salary is 6 figures, if all you get out of your work is a paycheck, you are shortchanging yourself. There is a wellspring of life, substance, and intelligence within you, and yours is the privilege at any time of giving way to its flow. The truly giving consciousness, a committed giver, is an incurably happy person, a secure person, a satisfied person, and a prosperous person. When you discover the wonder of giving, you will wonder how you could have lived in any other way. It is the key that makes truth work, that opens the doors to the good that you have been seeking, and that gives life that added glow. It can be one of the greatest discoveries of your entire life. There is a new world awaiting you, a new level of life that can open to you, and a new experience of the dynamism of the truth that you have been studying. Discover the wonder of giving. It is the better way. And the day will come when you insist that it is the only way. So let us continue in this space as we are just opening our entire being, our heart, our mind, and our soul. For truth is flowing, for wisdom is flowing, for God and its all magnificence is forever present right here and now. And it is the open consciousness, the open awareness, the open heart and mind and soul that becomes that place that is unrestricted, that place that is available to the flow of the divine, the flow of good, the flow of love, the flow of all good, well-being, peace, and abundance. Knowing that we cannot be separate from it, for every cell in our being, the trillions of cells from which we are made up of, are made from the wisdom of God, from this intelligence. And so God is and I am and can be nothing else. And so it's in this place of truth, in this place of knowingness, that I just allow it to be. I get out of the way. I trust and surrender and go within to that deep place of God and only God. I give great thanks for this, for it is a heart that's filled with gratitude that is the exact vibrational match for good. So it's in gratitude that I open and give thanks. And so I release this word into that eternal yes, that loving yes, that giving yes. And I watch with deep knowingness and faith that it's all unfolding perfectly. I see the awe of the Grand Master at work in my life, your life, and in this world as a whole. And so I allow it to be, knowing it is done. I give thanks, and so it is. Amen.
Beautiful. Good morning, Seaside. Yes, it's good to be here. My daughter, Rebecca Jade, is celebrating her anniversary in Las Vegas, so she asked for me to sit in for her. So it's good to be here. So we are very blessed with a very talented young man. His name is Ray Davis. He's been here before, and it's exciting. He brings his horn with him. He also brings with him a new CD, a new project. Yes, a new project, and it's called The Soundtrack by Ray Davis, Act 1. And if any of you who know theater or things, you know there's usually more than one act if you say Act 1. So this is Act 1. There will be two more, Act 2 and Act 3 this year, this calendar year, 2015. So he has them on the back table there. He also has two more as well to sell, for sale. So definitely take advantage of his being here. And in fact, if you ask nicely, he'll probably even give you an autograph on that. So now let me share a little bit about Mr. Ray Davis. He's a transgenerational, transformational, transcendent singer. I always want to say something else there. Transgenerational, transformational, transcendent. Keeping it real, folks. What can I tell you? Singer, songwriter, and inspirational artist. He brings a new kind of enlightening and enlivening energy to pop, to soul music, and it's sure to move you. Ray's music moves fluidly through funk, soul, jazz, gospel, and pop without losing its connection to its life-affirming and its positive message. His beautiful, soulful voice delivers well-crafted, hook-driven songs that speaks to the best in all of us. It really is music to wake up to. So without further ado, let's put our hands together for a nice welcome to Mr. Ray Davis.
Are we up? Yay! Good morning, Seaside.
Good morning.
I love that you said young man. That really that works so, and it's so true. That's the transfer. This song is my tribute to the practitioner corps. Any practitioners in the house here? I love y'all so much. I'm sure to know that if I sit with a practitioner long enough, they're going to tell me the truth about myself instead of the story that I walked in with. So this song is called Compassion. A little bit more monitor. One, two, three. Came by for tea one afternoon. She cried and cried so much that soon tea was tepid and forgotten. The fear said, this time I think he's gone for good. So in my mind I'm wondering, should I say this or that or not? Then suddenly the silence right when everything was quiet, I knew what was needed, just love and compassion. Fear picked up on the second ring. He mumbled before confessing he was totally besotted. The fear moaned, he's only toying with my heart. So now I'm wondering how to start to unstop a mind that's clotted. Then in the silence, right when everything was quiet, I knew what was needed, just love and compassion. Fear, binding, blinding fear. Fear no longer speaks through me. Oh no, 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 no. It's love, love right now and here, that clearly colors all I see. I see you now, I see true now. All is well. Forgot to mail the check today. Tomorrow someone's rightful pay will not be in their possession. Sometimes I feel like such a simple-minded fool. Maybe I should go back to school to pursue some safe profession. But in the silence, right here where everything is quiet, I know what is needed, just a love and compassion. It's just a love and compassion, compassion. It's just a love and compassion.
That is Ray Davis. All right, Ray. Oh, my. Now, your voice is just amazing. Oh, my goodness. What sound so smooth. Oh, man, just fabulous. Ray Davis, way to just tell us. Okay, let's see. This morning is you came to give and not to get. Winston Churchill said, you make a living by what it is you get. You make a life by what it is you give. And, you take a look at Spirit. Spirit is about giving. It is constantly expressing itself. It's all been created, and so it seeks to express into our life and into our world. And I'll tell you the secret to living, it's giving. It's not about me. It's about we. We are in this together, and we are in this to create. Think about this. If you had some good news, something very exciting happened to you, what's the first thing you do? You run home, you find somebody you care about, and you tell them what went on in your life, right? It is natural to share the good, and you have come into this world to give, to share, to express your purpose, your passion, your dharma. There's something that is just all seeking to express itself as your life and your world. And so as you begin to step into that, you begin to develop just meaning in your life. You don't get meaning by getting and holding on. You create meaning by giving and sharing that which you came here to do. Andrew Carnegie, or is it Carnegie? Carnegie. That's how I grew up with the guy. Anyway, but here is a ruthless businessman. But he U.S. Steel provided the steel for the railroads, for the skyscrapers, and he just went very strong in the first half of his life. And then something interesting happened. And I saw this on the History Channel, the Men of America or something like that. But Rockefeller, who was also ruthless, bought out U.S. Steel. And so here's Carnegie with all this cash, and what he did changed the direction of nobility, of the super rich, of the affluent. He really cast forward the concept of the entrepreneurs, or not the entrepreneurs, but the philanthropists, those that came into this world to give and to make a difference, to create meaning. And all of a sudden, we got Carnegie Hall, we have the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace, you got the Carnegie Research for Science, you got the Carnegie, what he did was he doubled the amount of libraries in our nation at the time because he was passionate about education. And all of a sudden, because he chose to be this philanthropist, his not cohort, but his competition at that time, John D. Rockefeller, said, well, he's going to give stuff away. I'm going to start doing it too. And all of a sudden, there was a competition who could give more. And what began to be was not being remembered for what it is I can get in my life, but what it is I can leave to the society and the world in which we live. But up in that point, it was the responsibility of religion to help take care of people. And, modern day Ted Turner really cast that with his pledge of $1 billion to the UN. And then we had, Gates and Buffett who created the Giving Pledge, where they now have 120 billionaires pledging to give away 50% of their income to make a difference in the world in which we live. It's about what we give. It is about what we share. It is about being in that wonderful flow. Bono, YouTube rock and roller, his big passion is to help eradicate the third world debt, the kind of debt that has little nations enslaved to a loan that they should never have been given in the first place. But you don't have to be one of the billionaires or a rock and roll. Candace Young Schultz, one of our practitioners here, is real big in pushing forward the Jubilee Project, which is about eradicating those enslaved nations to a debt that they should never have been given in the first place. Or like Callie and her Seaside sisters, April 3rd, they're putting on this documentary about plastics and what it is doing to our oceans and the gyros that are going on out there. And she has stepped forward, and all of a sudden, who wants to partner with what's going on here at Seaside? But Encinitas Ecology Days, the Surfrider Foundation, San Diego Beach Rescue, the Pachi Mama Alliance, all of a sudden, because somebody is following their passion. And what I'm here today is to tell you, listen to what stirs your soul, what turns you on, what is it you're passionate about, and begin to step into that. That's how you create meaning in your life. That's how you create excitement in your life. It is that way that makes a difference. Research, doesn't need to tell us this, but research is showing that it is the givers that are the happiest. Harvard's Elizabeth Dunn and Michael Norton created a book called Happy Spending, and The Secret to Spiritual Spending. And it states that, though having a lot of money is a good thing, it can buy you tastier foods and put you in the right neighborhood. It's the happiest ones, irrespective of the amount, is about how it is they spend their money. It doesn't matter if you're a rich nation or a third world. It doesn't matter if you come from a high economic level or a low one. It is all about how you spend those dollars that make a difference in your life and your world. They said, from the Canadian college student who buys their mom a scarf to the Uganda girl who buys her best friend a life-saving malaria vaccination. There's something there. One of their colleagues, Laura Ekmans, did a research project with Starbucks cards. They found a bunch of people and gave everybody these $10 Starbucks cards, and some she asked them to go and spend it on themselves. Others, she asked them to just give it to somebody and have them go to Starbucks on their own. Others, she said, I want you to go to Starbucks with somebody and use your Starbucks card just on yourself. Or go to Starbucks and take the person with you and buy them something and use something with it. And needless to say, the happiest of all those four classes was those who bought something for someone else as well themselves, and being in that presence. We want to give. It is in our soul. It is in our passion to be able to do that. And I want us to get it is life transforming, to be able to find where it is in your life you can be that vortex through which the generosity of Spirit moves in your life. Tony Robbins, he talks about his early days when he was struggling. He was living in just a little 400 square foot apartment down in Venice, and one night he pulled over on the side of the road. He'll tell you what off-ramp it was, and he's just crying, and he said, the secret of living is giving. And he wrote that down, he closed his book, and then he went on to not practice it. He said the next 6 months were the worst months of his life. He lost everything that he had created or accumulated at that point. He said within a 2-month period of time, he gained 38 pounds, and that comes from eating lousy food and not moving around. He was actually watching daytime TVs and got hooked on General Hospital. Tony Robbins, he says it's humiliating to think about that. He was living in a little, like I said, on the floor in that 400 square foot bachelor place. And he said he was so low, he was down to his last $19. That's all that he had left, everything he had lost. And so he thought, what did I do at 17 when I had no money and I was hungry? He said, I'd go to smorgasbords. Remember those? They still have those? Well, now we call them happy hour, but... So he decided to go down to Marina del Rey and went to El Torito. I can still remember that restaurant down there. You guys out of that South Bay up there. And he said, he didn't want to spend his money on parking and gas, so he walked the 3 miles to save those dollars. He went there and he sat down in a beautiful spot watching the boats come and go. And those are L.A., that's where we keep our yachts if you're out of L.A. I mean, that's and his state of mind started changing as he filled up plate after plate after plate of food and kept eating the happy hour there. And finally, when he was full, he was starting to feel better, and he noticed a little 7 or 8 year old boy just dressed up in a suit, and he held the door open for his young mom who came in, and he was just so polite and he pulled out the chair for his mom, and he looked at this little boy with just innocence. You ever seen one of those like little innocent 7 or 8 year olds just trying to be so grown up with their mom, so polite, dressed in a suit that Tony was so moved. He paid his bill, and he went over and said, I just need to tell you, young man, that you are such inspiration. I just so admire the way you are so polite with this beautiful lady. And he looked at him and said, I got to tell you, this is my mom. And he said, oh, that is your mom. Well, how wonderful that you are taking her out to lunch. And he said, yeah, I got to tell you, I'm only 8 years old, and I don't have a job, so I don't have any money to buy her lunch. And Tony reached into his pocket without thinking, pulled out his $13 and some change and put it on the table and said, now you do. Little boy said, what? No, why? I can't do that. I said, yes, you can. The little boy said, why? And Tony, with a big grin on his face, because I'm bigger than you. The kid grinned, and Tony walked out the door, and he said he flew home. Something shifted. He was no longer terrorized by the fear of losing the last of his money. All of a sudden, he did something without thinking that was about giving. All of a sudden, he put himself into a flow that lifted him out of his impoverished state. And that night, he was so lifted by that act of innocence by that young child and by his stepping out of not even thinking about being in that place, that something shifted in him, that he just downloaded his plan of action and began to think about and do that. And the next day when the mail came with some guy he had lent $1,200, sent him $1,300, said, I owed this to you and I wanted you to have it. You were there for me. I want you to have it now, which put him up for the next month. And he's never looked back since that moment. And he attributes it to an 8-year-old boy that he doesn't even know. But something in him moved. And I want you to get, and he got that, he remembered, he wrote in that book that the secret of living is giving. That, life doesn't happen to you. How often do we think life's happening to me? Life doesn't happen to you. Life happens for you. But can you get into that place and be able to recognize that what's going on is happening for me to step up to a new way? Am I willing to step up and be different, do it differently, irrespective of what's going on, but because it's moving through my soul and I got to dance. I got to move. Speaking of dancing, I like that segue. But I've got my foundation class, and last week they had an assignment they needed to bring into current events. One not so good things and one that's good that's happening in the world. And how would you look at it from a spiritual perspective? Positive assignment. But there was this one article I just had to share with you, and it's from China, and it's about the old folks there. It's called Noisy Old People. In a reversal of Footloose, the young people are telling the old people to be quiet. The crowds of dancing retirees have recently become a common sight in China's urban squares. As Gongcheng Wu, a type of organized group dancing, has taken over the country's public spaces. And most of the enthusiasts are damas, or older women, who crave the social interaction and exercise. But the round-the-clock hours they keep and their blaring pop music are prompting the fellow city dwellers to have issues. My father's wife, who's in her 30s, recently found herself screaming obscenities at a group of very noisy seniors who have taken dancing outside of their apartments. Some enraged bystanders have hurled garbage at the dancers. Others have taken to Weibo, that's the Chinese Twitter, to denigrate Gongcheng Wu grannies and grandpas in shocking language. Some insults riff on the popular dance move, the zombie jump, that's inspired by Michael Jackson's Thriller video. The detractor likened the dancers to a group of Walking Dead. And another observer lambasted the revelers for showing off their shriveled breasts. The reverse of the customary Chinese reverence for the elders is startling. The country seniors have always taken to the public spaces to socialize with their Tai Chi in the morning. In October, this young man was sentenced to prison for trying to rob a jewelry store with just a butter knife. But as he entered the store, he was tackled by a dama twice his age, and her son's store owner informed the local paper that she was an avid practitioner of Gongcheng Wu. You gotta let it out. Could you just imagine that collective energy of what is going on? Because people said, you know what, I'm going to dance. I'm not going to play that part of an old person who's just sitting inside. Leave that to Tony Robbins. I'm going to listen to my soul and my spirit. And, how come some live vibrant and others just recline? How come some are able to demonstrate in their lives and some aren't? Ernest Holmes, he's the founder of religious science. He tells us in his book, The Science of Mind, that realization is demonstration. Those that are able to realize spirit are the ones that can demonstrate in their life. It's not about telling this infinite, all-knowing, allness, what it is you need to do. It's not about going to God to heal a sick body that is starting to show some age. It's not about going to God to get the funding for my project or to heal my relationship or my body. So often we want to tell this infinite intelligence what to do. What Ernest is telling us, what the secret of those that are able to demonstrate in their life is that they are able to go into that place and commune. That's what prayer is. It is a communion with that life force, with that first cause, with the essence, the first breath, the joy, the infinite, the allness. That harmony of expression is what I am communing with. And when I am in that place, everything lines up. I don't need to tell it how to make my business work or my relationship work or my body to get better. I become that divine expression. The realization is what I am, and that is what shows up in my life. You don't go to God to get something. Imagine if you just went to Spirit to commune and be that which you already are, which is Spirit expressing the power that is there. Because I'll fill you in. God's not withholding anything from you. You know, it's not as if God has something on the upper shelf. Say, Christian, I've been just waiting for you to ask for this. You know? You've been good now for a while. It's time for me to give you your inheritance. It's not like that. It's all been given. There's nothing left to give. What you get to do is step into that realization and become that vortex through which it flows. That's why I say the universe is about giving. The universe gives because it's got it all. It's constantly looking for expression, and you become that vortex for it to express through. But you've got to have space in your heart to be open to the unimaginable good possibilities that are seeking to be known. You know, the difficulties come not from what takes place in life, but our reactions, you know, the restrictions, the resistance that we put on what actions are taking place in our life. It's not like that. It's about opening up to that wonderful flow of Spirit. It is about no longer trying to run from the problems in our life, because that which you run from, it pursues you. But you stop, you face, you welcome that problem. Hey, buddy, how's it going? And it transforms you. You run from a problem, it pursues you. You face and welcome a problem, it will transform you. And then you become that place through which that Spirit can show up in a new way, in a greater way, in a higher way within your life and within your world. You become that space where the divine begins to show up. But you've got to be willing to stay there. You've got to be willing to be that place where the divine begins to take shape. You've got to be that place through which Spirit begins to move into expression. Not your fears, not your human concerns, but that place where the presence of God is. And things happen. It's amazing how they happen. But you got to be willing to trust that. There's a ABC correspondent, Dan Harris, and you may have remembered this story, but a few years back, he talked about getting passionate, whether it is eradicating third world debt, libraries, education, whatever it is. His was that there are 8.4 million children in slavery in our world today. 8.4. And he wanted to research that. You know, what does it take to buy a kid? How difficult is that? He jumped on the plane in New York, and within 10 hours, he flew down to Haiti, and he was putting together the negotiations for $150 to purchase a child. His comment is, it's cheaper to buy a child than it is to buy an iPod in our modern world. It's horrendous. It's terrible. But are you able to be open to, you know what, this is mine to do? I mean, this may not be yours to do, but it was his to do. There are so many different things to do in this world. What is your call? You can't do them all. You know, if I were to bring home every homeless on the street that I give food to on the off-ramp, our house would be packed. Callie would kick me out. You know, it's like our every couch would be taken. You can't do that. You've got to figure out, this is mine to do. I've got so much energy. There's infinite energy, but I'm only one spot through which it flows. I'm going to eradicate debt. I'm going to eliminate the plastics in the ocean. I'm going to eliminate, what is yours to do? Follow that. Become that vortex for its givingness, because as Spirit moves through you, it heals, it transforms, it enlivens every cell and aspect of your physical being. As that life force is moving through you, there is something dynamic and wonderful and powerful that is awakening in you. Because there's so much more than you see and you know. You know, James Von Prague, who is coming to Seaside, we all know that. Tickets just go on sale today, and even before today, we have sold over 100 of them on the internet. There's 100 pre-sales because I guess we got a hot one here. But one of the things that James Von Prague, he talks about is outside his house is a park, and he looks at the squirrels running around in the park. And all those squirrels know is the park. That's the extent of their world. But there is a whole planet the squirrels can run around on. There's forests all over. But all that they're aware of is that park that they're in. And so, let me share with you what James Von Prague is going to be sharing here at Seaside. This comes from his book, The Adventure of the Soul. He's #1 New York Times bestseller. You know, he's just a weekly TV show. But he writes here that I've stopped doing private readings, and I focused my energy on training other people to develop their own psychic gifts if they wish to start on this journey. But I get so much satisfaction out of opening minds to the wonders of spirit that I tour the world presenting lectures about spirituality. And of course, during those events, I do give the demonstrations of my ability to make contact with the consciousness of those who are no longer inhabiting this physical dimension. That reality is actually what most of the people who come want to see and hear from my lectures. But I always give them a healthy dose of what really matters. The truth that there is no death. And that what we believe about our lives on earth, about the being, our true nature, is just an illusion. We are eternal souls that have no beginning and they have no end. And while we are incarnated in this physical dimension, we are only aware of so much, like that squirrel was only aware of so much. And the wholeness of who we really are is filtered through the human senses. So we're not capable of seeing the bigger picture. And what he does is he helps activate our awareness to open up to the other dimensional possibilities. You see, who you are is so much more than what's being filtered through your mind. And if you can begin to see and hear the other aspects of that world and the many forests and the possibilities and the landscapes and the other expressions that are going on in your life and your world, all of a sudden there's something that can be activated in you that gets you excited. Said, you know, I'm here to do this. This is my dharma. This is my purpose. And this is what I have come here to give and to do and to be and to express in my life. I'm listening to that dream. And I want you to know your dreams are not about filling up your financial bucket. Your dreams are about bringing meaning. Your dreams are about the quality of your life, and that bucket gets filled up. One is not at the exclusion of the other. One follows the other. And as you begin to say yes to that, all of a sudden there is an opening that happens as you begin to say, I'm going for something bigger than I am by myself. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'm going to give steel to every railroad and sky rise that's happening in this country. I don't know how I'm going to help eradicate the debt of this planet, but there's something inside of me that wants to. And all of a sudden, as you begin to catch a vision or a dream of that which is larger than your limited human perception, and your mind says this is what is possible, and you step into that providence sets in. Grace sets in. You can call it coincidence if you want, but I like to call it grace because that just feels good. Yeah, you know, it shows up for you. But you have to be willing to say, you know what? The secret to living is giving. What is it? Wonderful man by the name of A.T. Arayanratne. And they call him Ari, thank goodness, because I couldn't say that name twice for you. But Ari, and you may know him. I mean, he is a huge humanitarian, a wonderful guy. I met him a couple different times. He stands about so tall. They call him the little Gandhi of Sri Lanka. This guy is just a mystic, caring, compassionate expression of life. In 1958, he was a science teacher in Sri Lanka. And he decided to take his kids to go do a service project to one of the poorer villages. In 58, there were no bathrooms, so they were going to build latrines. And so he took his kids out there. But those kids come from a caste system, and they were the high class caste system. And the ones in the village are the lowest of the caste system. And the grief and the sabotaging that went on from the higher caste system, because they were trying to help the lowest of the low, the poorest of the poor. But it was a 2-week project, and they successfully completed it. And Ari was very excited about this, that he started to create other projects. And he started to take other students and other teachers to the point where he retired from his job of school teacher. And Savayadaya is the name of that service, Awakening Humanity, that he began to set up different places that began to orchestrate, and they started to take care of villages in Sri Lanka, and it began to grow and grow. And to this day, I read one place that says there's 3,500 villages they support, but Wikipedia that I looked at this morning says there's 11,000 villages in Sri Lanka, it's a grassroots movement. They're on the ground, all because he started with one little project and he decided to serve, that he has become known as the Gandhi of Sri Lanka. A few years back when they had this uprising over there with the rebels that have been going on for years and years, he called his people from the villages. There were over 1 million people that showed up for him. And within that month, the fighting of decades between the rebels in Sri Lanka disappeared. There was resolution to that. It is a vibration that is amazing upon our planet, and all he is about service. He heard one night before he was to go speak at a Buddhist temple that there was a plot on his life for assassination. They were going to kill him because they didn't like what was going on. And he found out the lowest and the darkest and the meanest of the underworld, Chopi, was given the hit on him. And when he heard that, it was the middle of the night, he got up and he went to Chopi's house in the middle of the night. It says the guy was shocked to see Aryaratni standing there. And Ari said, I am Aryaratni, and I understand that you have been asked to assassinate me. I've come here tonight because I don't want to spill blood on the sacred Buddhist temple. I'm just a poor beggar. Here I am. And it said that Chopi looked into his eyes and something happened. A shift. The soul opened, it awakened, and he put down the gun and aligned with Ari and was now on his team. That's the power. When you're not trying to stop an assassin, when you're not trying to save a village, you are just in that place of the realization of the allness of the presence of God. That you recognize that there is an allness, there is a life force, there is an essence, there is a principle, a law, a cause, there is a first breath, there is an effect, there is that infinite source, it is that presence, and I am of that. As I come to know the presence of God, I come to know the true presence and the identity of who I am, of who you are. When you come to know that, the assassins will lay down their guns for you. You will have villages coming up out of their impoverishment. You will make a difference when you just choose to be in integrity for that which you have come to give to this world, to be in this world, and to express in this world. You didn't come here to ask God to give you something so you could do your project. You have come here to be as God. God is, life is, that which is, I am that which is, God, harmony is, spirit is. That is the truth of the isness of your being, of God's being, and with that all things are possible. God bless you as you step out there and do the impossible. I love you. Hey, let's keep going as we bring Ray Davis back to our stage.
keep silent. Don't let them hear you speak. Softly, you'd better tread softly, for everyone knows that God only shows favor when you bow and scrape and lay prostrate and wail upon a wall. But something small and still inside said no. Better keep your head down. Don't let them catch you standing tall. 'Cause everybody knows you got to fit in. 'Cause everybody says you got to fit in to get into all the right places with all the right people. So you bob and scrape and lay prostrate and sacrifice your peace. Something small and still inside said, forgive, love, release. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. And love them, for they are one with you. Release your burden, release your fear, for I am is my name, and I am always near. Oh, I am always hush now, listen, you'll hear it over and over again. Hear God say, I love you, over and over. Hush now, listen, you'll hear it over and over again. Hear God say, I love you. Hear it over and over. Hear it over and over and over and over and over Hear it over and over and over and over. I love you, I love you. You're perfect as you are. Perfect as you are.
Ray Davis. Felt that one. My goodness. I could feel where that was coming from. Couldn't you just? You were there. There's just so much more beyond what it is we see, and we were there with you. That's beautiful. Hey, this is the time of our service where we have the opportunity to unite together in our givingness and the sharing of our offering, and to know that which we give, it comes back to us, but it's not why we give. It's an extension of consciousness. It's the activity that Spirit is having through us. It is the givingness of the infinite as our very life, bringing with it the richness and the vibrancy to the channel through which it moves. And so I invite you to look within your heart and your soul and to give from that place. And with that, I want to invite our ushers to come forward at this time and say thank you to this wonderful crew and this crowd. And thank you to those that mail in your contributions on a Sunday when you can't be here. It is greatly appreciated, as well as those that remember us with the auto tithe, that regular systematic support from your world into Seaside. That regularity really assists us in our being able to just function with a greater level of comfort. But I share this prayer of gratitude with the most generous of spiritual communities, knowing that this truly is a blessed moment where the light of the divine fills each of our field of awareness. For the infinite expression of God truly is forever looking for which it can flow. And I know we become that place for which it does flow. We become that avenue, that vortex, that channel, that conduit through which that infinite reservoir just pours into life. And I know right now that as Spirit moves into our very experience, there's a richness, there's a blessing, there's a healing that is going on. For each of us are truly enriched by saying yes to that wonderful desire within to be that place through which the livingness is experienced. So we send this, which has blessed our life, forth with gratitude for having been touched by it, knowing it continues to bless everyone it comes in contact. I say thank you, Father, Mother, God, for this opportunity to just pause in the activity of a day, of a week, and remember the true source of all. As I give, it comes back. I just say thank you, thank you, thank you. It's all Spirit. So it is. Amen. And together, let us say this affirmation of abundance, which is Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully, I live as the giving expression of Spirit, opening the floodgates of the affluent flow of a greater good as my life now. Hi, guys, from Seaside. As I stand before this bounty, I just feel the love that's poured forth through each of us. For our heart and our soul has been placed within this gift and is received with just a wonderful sense of joy. It's taken care of in good stewardship. It's put forth back into action in life, knowing it blesses all those it comes in contact. But I know for each of us as that channel through which this good has flowed, that it blesses and enriches our very life. I say thank you, Father, Mother, God, for this opportunity to feel it and sense it and be a participant of that ever-givingness of God's expression as our very life. And so it is. Amen. That's it. Richard Drutman, board member, threw a wild party last night right here at Seaside. Good going. Ray Davis, fabulous, wonderful, over the top. Can't get enough of you. Heart. Oh, yeah. And hey, about time your new CD came out. We've been waiting a long time for that. I look forward to listening to that today, if I can get it from Cali. So, Leslie Green, what a joy to have you share Sundays with us. And anybody interested in doing the choir, big choir gig, Easter Day right here, 3 services, and they rehearse after service on Sunday. So talk to Leslie and find out if you got what it takes to be in the Seaside choir. So that's good. Reverend Tammy, always a joy to share Sundays with you. It's a blessing. Giving us sound day is Ed, giving us visual is Marv. Timothy, live streaming it to the world. Bless your heart. And those out there, we love you. Thank you for being part of Seaside. And Robin Holt's back in the house, so I will do what I did once before. Oh, Rick, you are such a romantic guy. Birthday, anniversary. Thank you. They're gorgeous. Bless you. And no, anybody can give us flowers. We just love being beautified by that. There's a lot going on at Seaside. Jen has got a class about the language of the heart that's going on today after service, so that will be fabulous. Exciting. Hey, next Saturday or Sunday, Jill Bodonsky is doing her improv workshop. There's probably only a couple spots available, but if you're interested, that's definitely a stretch. And this whole month's been about creativity. Can you be that creative expression for Spirit to give life into your world? And next Saturday morning, the men's group is coming together for breakfast. Talk to Ray Holder about that if you're interested. Or you come back a little later around 10:30. We're doing a Death Cafe, very popular these days. And it is going on right here at Seaside. So lots going on. Like, oh, here in the program, you've got membership. If you've been thinking about becoming a member of Seaside, fill out the application, hand it to me on the way out, because next Sunday is the class. Following Sunday, we're all going out together and just celebrating our community that is we're all part of. And I intentionally put 2 of James Von Prague's flyers in there because I'm asking you a favor, and that is to post it somewhere, share it with somebody, pass it around. Our intention is to just have a full house for him. He does that everywhere he goes, and Seaside is no exception. So share that with somebody for sure. Other than that, it's my birthday! Hey, thank you. All right. Hey, look at these guys. You guys got my birthday greetings. That's beautiful. And I got cards. Wow. That is just, thank you guys. That is terrific. Would one of you like to blow out my birthday cake? Okay, 2 of you, come on. Okay, huff and puff, make wishes. Know that we got health and abundance and joy and a thriving, growing Seaside spiritual family. Ready? You huff, you puff. Go. Hey! What'd you guys give me? That's like a plug. Von Prague's book, check that out. In the bookstore. Tammy must have picked the gift, so. I'll tell you what, you're all standing. I'll do a quick prayer. You don't need to sit down. I'll get us out of here fast because there's food. So remain standing. And as we just stand, we can feel that upliftment. We can feel that joy. We can feel that power. We can feel that presence. We can recognize that God is. That's it. It's the 2 words. It is that kind of realization. It's that kind of alignment that God is. Harmony is. Life is. Abundance is. Joy is. That which God is. I am that. And so I share these words with all of us, just feeling the love that our family is. We are a community that is about making a difference, about being meaningful in our contributions to the society. For we come here and we remember our connection with the infinite and all the good that brings, the healing that brings, the alignment to our life that it brings. And I know right now that if there's anyone experiencing a physical human experience, I know, knowing spirit, all things are possible, and the healing happens because I become that vortex through which the God divine expresses into life. I've come here to give, and as I give, I find the rich blessings as my very life. For each and every one of us, for every prayer request in our prayer request chest, Spirit has said yes. For our beloved Edwin Robinson, his best friend, his transition yesterday, leaving behind a couple of kids, and I just know that he moves on with those wonderful currents of life, and that Edwin's heart is just honored and blessed, and the family involved. And for our school teacher in town who took her life last week. For all the kids in that school, that they move to a understanding, to a peace that even passes that understanding. For her family that's left behind. For this community we live in, we care about. And so we just add this seaside love to those spots where there's hurt and there's pain, knowing that it's just God manifesting because it is omnipresent. And so with a sense of gratitude for being a giver of that realization, with no expectations, just a giver of the divine realization, that divine emanation that each and every one of us is, I say thank you, just thank you, thank you. Not to anyone. It's just living in that state of grace. People say, I'm thankful, but do they really experience that gratitude? I know in this moment each of us pauses to be grateful. And it's in that grace and gratitude that I let go. I trust and I believe in the divine right action, the Spirit that has its way. So it is. Amen.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all myself, and I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged and you are struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. Let it go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. I let my spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggles, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let my spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here. Come on, Seaside. I know that's right. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm holy. We are only here for God. Ooh, yeah.
And motivation is it feels good to be a spark of the divine. Together, it feels good to be a spark of the divine. Touch your heart and say that again. It feels good to be a spark of the divine. One more time like you mean it. It feels good to be a spark of the divine. And our song of grace.
I'm living in love, I'm living in peace, I'm living my life for what I believe, through joys and through tears, in this world and as a God's grace moves through me, as it moves through us all, we are living in we are living in rain. We're living in love. We're living in peace. We're living our life as one family. We honor all truth as together we walk. God's grace moves to me as it moves through us all. We are living.